Hi, this is Vinney Chopra. Thank you for again joining on my podcast, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. As you know, I wrote that book, which is a top seller in Amazon. Internationally also got a lot of acclaim, reviews and all. And this podcast is about syndication, about commercial investing. I like to bring great guests for you and dig into their story, their successes, and find out some nuggets from them so that you could really enjoy them and learn from them and then implement them.
All right. Real Estate Runway family, welcome to another episode of the Real Estate Runway podcast. I'm your host, Chad Sutton, and we are powered by Quattro Capital on this episode today. Friends, I'm joined with a good friend of mine, the one, the only, Vinney Smiles Chopra. Vinney, welcome to the show. How are you, my friend, all the way from San Francisco?
I'm doing amazingly well. Thank you so much, Chad, and had the pleasure to meet you next door at Rupam's place, and we were just chatting about it. No, it's beautiful weather outside. I'm in the gazebo outside in the backyard and having my office here.
Yeah, well, all of you on YouTube will see this, but I have a fake background. I'm sitting behind some fake water, but Vinney is sitting in his beautiful backyard in Danville, California. Gorgeous. Coincidentally, next door to two very good friends of mine. I was in town visiting some months ago, and in walks Vinney in the door, and like, this is a small world. Kind of funny, but oh, so great to meet you, my friend. So anyway, and by the way, a plug for the show. Vinney, do you remember what episode you and I talked on your show? If listeners want to go listen to that.
I should have looked at it. I know I don't number my shows, by the way, because there's so much every day is coming out now. So it was really getting harder. So please, look at it, Vinney Chopra and Chad, Sutton, and you will find it. It's on YouTube, it's on iTunes, everywhere.
That's right. We had a really good time talking on that show, and he was gracious enough to come over here. So just Google Vinney, Vinney Chopra, and Chad Sutton, and you'll find probably this episode and the other one as well. So, all right, folks. Well, before we get going here, I got to give a little plug. If you get any value out of this show, please scroll down, leave us a 5-star review and a very thoughtful comment. Folks, those ratings and comments are worth their weight in gold, and they're the only way that this show reaches more people and shares the wealth. You can follow us via our parent company on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Team Quattro Capital, one word, no special characters, or by visiting us at thequattroway.com. We appreciate all of our listeners out there, and we'd love to hear from you. If you have any content requests, feedback, just want to say hello, drop us a note at podcast@thequattroway.com. And if you want to be on the show, please apply at thequattroway.com/podcast. All that will be in the show notes. Don't feel like you have to take notes here. So back to your regularly scheduled production here. Vinney, we have been in this market for a long time together. This is some chaos going on right now, if I do say so myself. We've had 375 basis point hikes in a row. It's like our 9th one this year or something like that. Yeah. Buyer and seller sentiment is very deviated. People are scared. Let's talk a little bit. First of all, what are you seeing out there, man? I mean, should we be hiding under a rock, or is the world ending? What's going on?
No. The world is not ending. Actually, we might see more economic downturns in the other parts of the world, but USA is the strongest position. I know the inflation kind of took off, with the gas prices and everything, and shortages and all that, to about 8.2 to 9%. And Fed has pumped so much money. We all know that. $3 trillion. So the inflation went out of hand. They are increasing interest rates to kind of curb that, bring it back. It might be a V, like going up, inverted V, we call it. Interest rates may go high, and in about a year and a half, I think, what I've been listening and all that, it'll be down. But remember, you and I, Chad, we were buying at 7%, brother. We were buying at 7.5%, 8%. We just got spoiled with 2%, 3% loans. So I am thinking that, we definitely should be in the market. the expectations of the sellers have to come down, including myself. I've sold a lot of properties at the peak, but the cap rate is going to increase. It has to increase with the buying power getting lesser and lesser. But there are amazing opportunities coming in the next 6 to 16 months. I mean, there's some people who took the bridge loans and they cannot refinance into a final, what you call permanent debt and all that. So those people will be selling. Of course, institutions in the big numbers, we are not into that one. We are into 200 to 400 units. In our case, in purchases, 50 million to 100 million. But I'm talking about the lower end also. There'll be opportunities coming. And
hi, you are listening to Syndication Made Easy podcast. We will be right back after this short break.
Hi, thank you so much. This is Vinney Chopra, and thank you for subscribing to my podcast and YouTube channel and Facebook pages and all the great things, and LinkedIn. Connect with me. I come live to you every Friday at 9:30 Pacific with Vinney and Bo show. Please also look at that. And also the podcast, which is my apartment syndication made easy. The book I wrote a couple of years back became international top seller on Amazon International now. And then we like to bring great guests for you every week or twice a week sometime to give you a lot of great knowledge. So please subscribe. You give us 5-star reviews on the iTunes. The better the guests we can bring, and our ranking will go higher also. Thanks again for following us and really getting the most out of it. Please comment, like, share, because we would love to bring better and better material for you.
There'll be opportunities coming, and at the higher end also will be coming for you and I. So stay in the market. Stay in the market, because the off-market deals come to those who are still squeezing. The squeeziest wheel gets the grease, I call it. And as a matter of fact, some of the brokers are calling back saying that, the deal did not go through. Wait a minute. So there'll be a lot of those opportunities coming.
Man, I couldn't agree more. And so one thing you said right there, there's a lot of operators listening to us today looking for some guidance. Folks, stay in the market. You are always buying. If anyone asks, you are still buying. Now, the metrics which you buy might be a little bit different, and they have to be. Yeah. But that's exactly it. We're seeing deals now come around, some of them for the third time this year. Some deals are coming back around because they needed to sell. And what are the only ways you get in trouble in real estate, Vinney? You run out of time or you run out of money, right? And the biggest problem, two things are at pressure right now. If some operators didn't see inflated construction costs coming, and so you've been seeing a lot of deals, 75% renovated, up for sale. Well, guess why? They ran out of money, right? But to finish their renovations. Or you have bridge debt coming due. And so that means they're running out of time. And so a lot of sellers are just holding on right now, but the ones you see coming back down, they're realizing we're not at Disney World anymore of interest rates. We're not at Disney World of prices anymore. And so in the near term, we're going to see an expansion of cap rate. But let's talk about what you said with the inverted V. I want to unpack that a little bit. What does that mean, folks? Yeah. I don't know about you, Vinney. I'd love to hear your opinion on this, but I am a student of the Fed and everything they've done since their inception in 1964. And I hope I quoted that right. Somebody please fact check me. But email me at podcast@thequattro with your complaint. But anyway, so if you think about this, if you go to fred.com and plot interest rate over time and just overlay recessions with them, you'll find that 100% of the time since the history of the Fed, within an average of 2 years and a max of 3 years from the first rate hike, which was in January, came the first rate cut. And so what Vinney is saying is we're seeing the interest rates climb as we're trying to accomplish the goal of mitigating inflation, right?
Yep.
But this will probably continue for, another, 12 to 18 months until we get to that 2-year mark, at which point the Fed will cut rates to try to stimulate growth. Now, we may not go back to Disney World of 2% loans, but we'll probably be somewhere in the 4%. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it will never go back to 2%. I totally agree with you. We got spoiled. I mean, the problem was we did. Oh my gosh, last 12 years with the bull market in the stock market and the prices of the properties going through the roof, 40% appreciations in single family homes, even our home here, in Danville, Blackhawk. I mean, I couldn't believe in 3 years it's gone double the price almost, whatever, 40% higher. But the thing is, and the expectations of the sellers kept on going higher and higher and higher. I mean, multifamily, look at how many people were overbidding, stepping on everybody's toes. Those days will be gone, and all that frenzy, I want to buy that property. Not only that, I want to say something else also. Chad, you probably heard it. Our young syndicators in the market grew up 1,000%. Hold on. These are new people who got to learn how to raise money, and they wanted to buy product. They kept on overbidding. So there will be some shakeout of those, I see also. But at the same token, it's like you got to marry the numbers. I always say that. Don't marry the buildings. You got to, expectations of the rent growth has to come down because of, those interests. I mean, the rents won't grow that much. And repositioning, like you just said, you said the right thing. The cost of material, the shortage of labor. I just came from my Hampton Manor in Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia, I'm building, and our, the cost has gone up 25%. Construction cost.
Wow.
25%. So, and the shortage of labor and everything. I mean, I took videos over there with my contractor and all, but we are getting things, it's delayed. The process is delayed. And delayed means your more money gone away, right?
Yeah.
So that way. No, I totally agree what you're saying with the interest rates, and they will not go down to 2%. I mean, I'm selling my property in Austin at this time, 2.89%. What? And now rates are 6%. So the buyers are definitely want to close on that, right? Assumption of loan.
Yeah, I think I was on record saying this maybe a year ago. I was like, you're going to see a lot of deals in the next 2 to 3 years start to become assumption debt, because like that's what's going to happen if rates go up. Oh, you have how much money at 2%, 3%? So that's very good. Yep. But you said something very important there, folks. And, it's kind of funny, but we're actually having to go back to fundamentals. We can't, the market is not going to be able to buy on pro forma and tomorrow's rent growth anymore. At best, bridge debt is running 7.5% before rate cap. I think with the 10-year Treasury move as of, we're talking early October right now, Fannie Freddie's at about 6%. So you're just going to have to buy on in-place cash flow, and that's going to deflate pricing in the near term. But to Vinney's point, you're probably going to have to assume that rental rates may not rise 30% in the first year. You're probably going to have to assume that things are going to take a little bit longer, and you just need to be looking for cash flow right now. That's the benefit of buying property. So Vinney,
so true.
As you're still moving through the market right now, what sort of deals are you doing? I know you've played in hotels a little bit. You're looking at maybe some diversification. I mean, let's talk about that, because there are opportunities out there. Where are you looking right now? Yeah.
Sure. Chad, I have also moved into senior assisted living. Some of the people know that, those are following me. But that's also multifamily senior assisted living has been a very good arm in the last 3 years that I'm into the building part of it and all that, which took a little shake up, with the interest rates hike. And not only that, the shortage of material and labor, like I just mentioned.